Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a Saturday morning. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about this guy. Yeah, Senator Mike Lee from Utah. And before, again, make sure that you do join me on my channel, The Right Has Left. It's available on YouTube as well as Substack. The Right Has Left has a lot of interesting things from the Trump White House administration. So make sure that you subscribe and tune in. Now, about Senator Mike Lee from Utah. As you know, the Trump's big beautiful bill is presently in the Senate, and it's getting rewritten and things thrown out, things added. One of the things that Mike Lee wants to add, and he's burying it along with other bills, is the sale of over 2 million acres of public lands to private developers, oil and gas leases, whatever. And this is a guy from a western state that usually prides itself on its public lands. He wants to do this all under the guise of affordable housing, which I call bullshit on. Now, how is he going to sell these 2 million acres from the federal government? Well, he wants to put it in a pool with 258 million other acres of surrounding states. This includes Wyoming, which I grew up in, to sell those public lands and offer them to private developers. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with what is public lands, well, think of this. Public lands include the National Park Service, the United States Forest Service, Bureau of Land and Management, or BLM, and other types of land that the federal government owns and manages on behalf of the American people. He's running into a lot of criticism on this bill, even including very conservative Republicans who are saying, no, Mike, we don't want to touch our public lands. But this is a guy who is like Trump. Give me the money. Give me the money. Let's get some money. Let's get some money. He thinks it's a great way to add more money to the federal government. But you don't do that touching public lands. What public lands and we actually got left in these United States? As you know, Trump wants to sell it all off. Oil and gas. Money, 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 money. We need to make America great again by getting more money. But you don't touch public lands. Now, how would this work? Well, let's think of going back to Wyoming. Let's talk about Teton Village, Jackson Hole. They have an agreement with the United States Forest Service for a lot of that mountain and surrounding areas, and they can develop just so much around there, and that would allow them to, if they say the federal government sold off more acreage to them, they could just develop the hell out of that. Even the locals don't want that. Teton Village is a very quaint ski resort. Another example, the Jackson Hole Airport. They are under a lot of restrictions, and they lease their lands. That they're one of the only airports in a national park, and they're not allowed to build 2 stories to have jetways. It has to stay single story. Can you imagine, let's say, the government says, let's sell off that area where the airport is and just let them do whatever they want. And, have this big, ugly thing sticking out in front of the beautiful Teton Range. Of course, I don't think they would ever do that, but that could become an option. So I'm trying to give you examples of what could happen if we had this mass sale of 2 million acres of public lands. It would be a freaking disaster. And again, he wants to use this in the guise of affordable housing. Like you're going to build, some condos up a U.S. Forest Service trail and just, level all the trees and stuff and put places like that there. Mike, you want to share what you're smoking?